Today we are talking about a fragrance that I'll just be honest with you, this is one that I've already tried and I'm not too fond of it, but I want to give it a proper review and due diligence because so many people love it. Strap up, let's talk about it. All right, welcome to the Scent Bubble. I am your host for the late evening. The fragrance we're going to talk about today, I shied away from doing a review of this fragrance. I forgot I didn't review it, but I also was avoiding it, to be honest with you. I'm so pissed off about this fragrance because it's cloning Pegasus. This is Armaf's Craze. Creamy, powdery, almondy, vanilla, almond nuttiness. Pegasus, it smells how it sounds. You know what I'm saying? This is supposed to be one of the most reliable clones of Pegasus, and it just ain't it for me. But I want to give it a proper due diligence because there are a lot of great things going on with it, and a lot of people tend to avoid the aspect of it which I don't like. So we talked about it. Creamy, powdery, almondy, vanilla goodness, right? Such a beautiful, smells like sweet floral wings on the back of a flying horse going through heaven's gates. You know what I'm saying? And I do get that. It is slightly synthetic in terms of its powderiness, sometimes coming across as chalky. I'm going to be honest, on skin for me, let's just address the elephant in the room. For me, I feel like it comes across chalky. I want to love this note profile, so that's why I want to do proper due diligence, but there's the powder comes off as a chalky harshness to me. Some people believe that this needs time to macerate. I've had it for a year. It can't possibly need to macerate longer than that. I've tried it on skin. I've tried it on the test strip. The test strip is where it's most manageable for me. It seems to illuminate the chalkiness even more for me when I put it on skin. It also doesn't help that this is a monster of a beast mode fragrance. 10 out of 10 in terms of beast mode scale. I do, behind the chalky harshness, get the almond, the vanilla, the creaminess, the floralness, the airiness, but there's just a bit of a bite of harshness that feels not only synthetic to me, but kind of nauseating a bit, more like jarring. And it's very unfortunate because I really want to love this DNA and I want to wear it. I'm going to be giving away decants of this fragrance in the future because I just don't have a place for it. It also doesn't help that I'm in warm weather. Now, trust me, I will rock a fragrance. For instance, a Mere Fire Your Desire Angel Share clone. I will rock it in hot weather. I have no problem finding an excuse to go indoors in hot weather so that I'm in a cold environment and rock winter fall fragrances. Okay? Which is what this is shining the most in. You know what I'm saying? But I just can't wrap my head around a certain distinct synthetic note that is just popping out of this fragrance. Just so you guys know, if you're interested in this fragrance though, because it does check a lot of boxes. Top notes, we have heliotrope, cumin, and bergamot. In the mid, we get bitter almond, lavender, jasmine, sage, and that's really the star players here, aside from the vanilla and amber, is this almond and floral medley that just really makes this freshness, slightly nutty, clean almond vibe, just like barraging this predominance of vanilla and amber. So I think on the scale, we would call this like 40% vanilla amber, 40% almond, lavender, jasmine, sage, and then a little bit of sprinklings of, I get the tiniest hint of cumin, maybe 5% or less is very desirably used. Don't get a ton of bergamot, maybe just the tiniest touch of heliotrope as well, sandalwood as well. So just maybe 20% of that type of medley. But this is predominantly vanilla, amber, almond, florals. So yeah, there's the note breakdown. And again, let's see what some people had to say about this fragrance. Wow, identical to PDM, fresh batch. The heliotrope jumps out at the beginning. Absolutely amazing for the price. Smells exactly like Pegasus. So see, I acknowledge that I may be somewhat of an odd man out in my take. I went ahead. Oh, that's not helpful for you guys. Let's bring you back to the screen here. I apologize about that. Um, I thought I was an odd man out, but to be quite honest, I already did a YouTube short talking about how I don't like this fragrance. And it was just as I thought. Criticism of this was split down the middle quite heavily. I had over 20 comments on my post, and half of them absolutely love this fragrance and don't know what I'm talking about. The other half couldn't agree more. They said they wanted to love it, but they're just pissed off that it has some jump out synthetics that are too harsh for them. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. $20, 100 ml. It doesn't help that this top piece pops off of about 50% of owners of this bottle. The whole silver thing pops off and it's really undesirable. The fragrance looks okay as a presentation, but once this pops off, I had to super glue it back down. And then my atomizer kind of was a little janky. I promise you that had no bearing on why I don't like it as a fragrance DNA. It really is the fragrance for me that just doesn't quite sell it. And I want to love it, but I will be looking into future clones of Pegasus because I want one. I do love the note profile. This is really something for you guys where I feel like maybe there's a bit of batch bias with this fragrance. I don't know if it's early batches or later batches or maceration or what's going on, whose hands it's jumping in and out of, but there seems to be a very consistent inconsistency with how people are reacting to this fragrance. And I think it goes beyond just the fact that everybody's opinionated. I think there seems to not be a consistency to the batch that is playing into it. Some people get beautiful bottles that macerate great and smell phenomenal. Some people, their caps are breaking, they're harsh as crap, and they never macerate. So it's really something for you where for $20, 100 ml, if you're really looking for Pegasus, I would steer you into a different direction if I had one, but I don't at this current time. But it is one of the most popular renditions of PDM's Pegasus, Parfums De Marly. And so I can't dock the fact that so many people do buy this fragrance and the community is split down the middle. You may love this fragrance or you may absolutely hate this fragrance, and that's a dice roll. So for that, I don't know where to steer you in the direction of. My opinion, how I feel about it now. And it's a bit of a shame. This is the reality of clones, guys. Sometimes we come across absolute trash. Sometimes we come across perplexing clones that seem to capture a large part of the community and others don't. Encre Noir, for instance, it's not a clone, but it is a $20 fragrance that smells mad expensive, so it falls into a clone-ish type of category. Half the community absolutely loves the dark vetiver fragrance of death. Other people are like, what the heck? I don't even like anything from the whole line. Not Encre Noir Sport, not Extreme, and not the OG. Some people love 1 out of the 3, 2 out of the 3. You will just never find a consistency of opinion in FragCom. But I actually love that aspect of FragCom. It's what makes it a community, is varying perspectives that we can all accept from one another and keep it moving. But they also educate us, because a lot of times the way you come into the game isn't how you came out. Your nose grows and your nose changes and you age and you begin to appreciate nuances at a later time that you didn't quite when you initially came into it. And then you grow with a fragrance and things macerate and you start learning that fragrances take time sometimes. And you also can just, hate stuff your whole life and whatever. But what my point is that there's varying ups and downs to a fragrance journey, and all of our varying perspectives are valid. It's a completely subjective category. And even though we roll with seemingly absolutes of how people feel about fragrances, at the end of the day, there's only two people that need to love the fragrance. First and foremost, you, and second off, the people who you're interacting with. Have, you know, I'd hope that you are being mindful of where you're going and the people you're interacting with, because ultimately you want a fragrance to speak of you and speak to other people and be a conversation starter, a vibe creator. You want it to accent an environment and complement an environment. I hope you're not one of those people who just wears fragrance so you can smell yourself and appreciate yourself. You don't care what anybody else thinks. I think that's a really narrow way to wear fragrance, but even in that category, you're absolutely entitled to. Again, this is Armaf's Craze, cloning Parfums De Marly Pegasus. Closeness, I give it a 7 out of 10 due to the harshness. If the harshness was gone, I'd probably give it a 90% accuracy. Absolute beast mode. Fall and winter cold weather fragrance. 2 to 4 spray killer. Okay? Occasions, if I liked it, it would be a good romantic fragrance, a good outdoor fragrance because it's loud, it can travel, you know, it could go everywhere. I think it sits perfectly in semi-formal, but it can dabble up or down in terms of seriousness. Dress it up how you like. Let me know how you feel in the comments. I'm sure the comments will be divided, but it's who we are. We're FragCom. You know what I'm saying? Hope you guys have a blessed week. And you can pick up that fragrance for $20 on any discounter out there. Maybe even cheaper on TikTok Shop. Hope you have a blessed week. This is the Scent Bubble signing off. Oh, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do all that fun stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Taking it off the screen. Be easy. Peace.